Hello there, my friends. This is Champion Marks here for another Black-White 2 battle of the Wi-Fi variety. This time we got a UU battle. I know, lower tier battles. What? But anyway, battling against Mr Lapras. I believe I've battled him before in a previous video, not that long ago. But yeah, anyway, let's just look at the teams. This is my kinda shitty UU team that I never really use because I don't play UU that much, but whatever. Got Frostlass, Suicune, Specs Raikou, a Scarfed Flygon, and a Special Defensive Dusclops paired with Gligar. His team, he's got Zoroark. Gonna have to watch out for that because I don't really have anything that wants to take a hit from it. Same thing with Porygon Z. Heracross isn't really going to be that much of a problem because Gligar walls it completely. Registeel, if I can get a burn on it, it'll be pretty easy to take down, plus Raikou and Flygon can hit it pretty hard. Dusclops will be a problem if I don't get status on it, and Azelf I can handle pretty well with Suicune. But anyway, let's get into the battle. As I lead off with Frostlass, my opponent, Mr Lapras, is going to lead off with what looks like Azelf, but don't be fooled, that is a Zoroark right there. Though, the words, I know not how to use them. Anyway, I'm going to use Frostlass as my lead. I'm just going to set up some spikes to see what this thing is, because if it's the real Azelf, it is going to outrun me, and if it's the Zoroark, it's going to be slower than me, and it's going to use Night Days. I do get up around a spikes. I would have preferred to get more, but, you know, sometimes I just don't get that opportunity, and excuse me. Here, I just decided to go for Destiny Bond, because I don't really want anything else to need to deal with this Zoroark, and having an extra layer of spikes would help, but it's not necessary at this point. So I'm going to get the Destiny Bond off, he's going to go for another Night Days, kill me off, and that will be a double down, and get rid of his Zoroark, even though never really saw that it was Zoroark. Don't be fooled, that is a Zoroark. So here I just go into Flygon, because, you know, on the double down, it's usually smart to go into your fastest thing, or your lead, and since my lead is dead, I decide to go into my Scarf Flygon, so I can just U-turn out on whatever he sends in. He decides to send in his real Azelf, and I just switch into Dusclops, because if this thing is a special attacker, I'm going to be able to take a hit from it easily, because this is special defensive Dusclops. Or if he is, you know, physical, he's probably just going to go for a U-turn of his own, and I resist that, so yeah, I should be able to take it pretty much no matter what he does. And in comes the Porygon Z. Now, thing is, my Dusclops is really the only thing I have for this Porygon Z, but the problem is that most Porygon Zs seem to run Dark Pulse, and that really doesn't work well with Dusclops since it's super effective, so I've really been thinking that I should probably switch out Suicune on this team for a special offensive Snorlax and just make this Dusclops physically defensive, because Snorlax can take on Porygon Zs a lot better than Dusclops can, and it can take on a hell of a lot of other special threats, but whatever. Anyway, I get the burn on Porygon Z, it's Life Orb, so burn plus Life Orb is going to be taking it down pretty quickly, and I get off Pain Split after a couple Dark Pulses. Thankfully, I'm actually able to live it on 10 HP to get off the Dark Pulse, and looking at the range of HP Porygon Z is at now, it's going to be able to go for another Dark Pulse, and it will be able to get the KO on me, but with a combination of Life Orb and burn, Porygon Z is going to go down, and it's going to be another double down. And, of course, again, I'm just going to go into a Flygon, because, you know, going to your fastest thing is usually a good idea on a double down. And he goes into Heracross, which is awesome, because even if he is Scarfed, Flygon's going to be faster. And I can just go for the U-turn, go out into Gligar, which is an immediate wall to any and all Heracross sets, no matter what they're running, because it can't hit it super effectively at all. And, yeah, he just decides to go for Mega Horn. I resist that, so I'm going to take it like a god, and now I'm just going to be able to get up some Stealth Rocks, which is going to be awesome, because Stealth Rocks plus Spikes is really going to wreak havoc on Heracross. It's going to get a little bit of damage on Azelf, because, you know, Azelf is immune to the spikes and whatnot, and it's going to do quite a bit to Dusclops. But anyway, I stay in here to see what his Azelf is going to do. I wanted to see if it was banded, because I probably could live the Ice Punch, although I lived a lot worse than I thought it would. Then again, the only other things I've ever seen this get hit by are, like, defensive shit with Ice Punch, like random Registeels that carry it and whatnot, but whatever. I do manage to live it, get off a Roost, and I do confirm that he is banded. As well, now that I know he's locked into Ice Punch, I can go into my Suicune, and I can start spamming off Scalds and Roars and stuff to get Spikes damage and not Life Orb, Rocks damage and all that wonderful shiz. So he's just gonna switch out, because, you know, he needs to get out of there, because Suicune and Azelf locked into Ice Punch, that really doesn't work out too well. But he goes into Dusclops, and I'm just going to go for the Roar, because I knew he was going to switch, so I might as well shuffle him out with Roar to get some Spikes damage and Stealth Rock on all of his things. In comes Registeel now. I do believe I decided to speed up this little portion of the game, because pretty much what I'm trying to do is get Scalds on whatever I can, and try and get burns. However, with the combination of Paralysis, Leftovers, and just in general, the stalling and the after-turn effects, this portion gets really, really long. And unfortunately, the only thing that I actually do this little shenanigan with, the only thing that I'm even trying to get out of this is burns, and unfortunately, I don't get a single one, not on Dusclops, not on Registeel, and certainly not on anything else, because nothing else even comes in on Suicune, because duh. Unless that Heracross is not scarfed, if it's Guts, it's not going to want to take the burn, and even then, if it is, it doesn't really want to switch into a Scald, especially on Suicune, which is physically defensive, so it can easily take the hit, but anyway. More Roar shuffling, more Leftovers, more everything. Oh my god, this takes way too long. Thankfully, Thankfully, the Parahax actually does somewhat shorten this, as you'll see in a little bit, but it's still pretty long. Like, the longest and most boring part of the match, because, you know, Paralyzed Suicune versus Registeel, that's, yeah, that's not going to be over too fast, but whatever. Anyway, here he goes for the Seismic Toss, and I believe I tried to go for Rest here, because I knew I would only have, like, one Seismic Toss live left in me, but I get Parahaxed on it. And Leftovers thankfully brings me up to 101 HP, so I am able to live the next Seismic Toss with 1 HP, as I try and go for another Rest, but I get Parahaxed on that too, so I lose my Suicune, which kind of sucks, because I didn't get the burns that I wanted, and now I'm going to lose my Suicune for pretty much nothing, but whatever. If I did get either of those rests off, that would have just made this game a hell of a lot longer and more boring, but whatever. Anyway, now in comes Gligar. Gligar can handle Registeel pretty well, because I know for a fact this Registeel doesn't carry Ice Punch, it carries Seismic Toss Shadow Claw, because I've seen Lapras use this Registeel before, and thankfully he can't Thunder Wave me as well, because, you know, I'm Ground type, so I won't be having the Parahax troubling me at all. And here I decided to go for Roost, because I was like, maybe I can somehow get up enough HP to be able to live an Ice Punch from Azelf when it comes in, but then I realized, like, wait, what would the point be in that? I don't have U-turn, so I wouldn't be able to kill it anyway. All I'd be able to hit Azelf with is Toxic, and it's at way too high of an HP range for Toxic to even bother it, considering it's probably only going to live for like one turn, especially since it's choiced. Even if I do get the Toxic in on it, it's only going to be in for like one turn at a time. Whatever. Now, more Seismic Tosses, and I believe now Gligar's just going to get the KO with Earthquake, and that's the end of Registeel. Good thing, too, because, oh my god, this thing just refuses to die. It's so freaking bulky. But now in comes Azelf. I know it's going to lock itself into Ice Punch, because, you know, why not? It's double super effective on 2 of the things I have left. You might as well go for it. And Raikou, I could send that in, but it's a speed tie, so I'd have to risk taking a Bandit Ice Punch. But anyway, in comes Flygon. I'm just going to go for U-turn, because, you know, I want to get the easy KO on Azelf, and Azelf, if it does switch out, I'll get Switch Initiative and all that stuff. And now I'm going to switch into Raikou, because, you know, U-turn, have to switch out, and I believe in is going to come Heracross, which that is not a good thing, because that means I'm going to have to take a hit. Thankfully, I'm more than certain I can take one close combat from full, since Raikou is very, you know, naturally bulky. It has pretty good stock defenses with no investment, and I do take it with 44 HP. Thank God he didn't get Rocks Up, or I would have been screwed. And I'm just going to go for the Specs Thunderbolt to get rid of this Heracross, which leaves his Dusclops as his only Pokemon left. Now, in my mind, I thought the game was all over right here, because he sends in Dusclops, and I know I can do about half to it with Specs Thunderbolt. But he pulls out Shadow Sneak, and I was just like, whoa, wait, what? That's a thing that Dusclops likes to run? What? So yeah, I lose my Raikou, and in comes Flygon, and basically the game's over, because Flygon may be a really boss-ass dragon motherfucker, but it really doesn't do anything to Dusclops, because Earthquake, you know, that's not going to do anything, and I didn't want to go for Outrage, because if I did go for Outrage, Confusion pretty much would have fucked me over, I'm more than certain of, and now that he's going to get the burn off on me, it's basically game, because Flygon isn't going to be able to do anything to this Dusclops, and he can just stall me out, Pain Split, Seismic Toss, Burn, and that's pretty much how the end of the game. GG Lapras, it was awesome, and holy crap, it took forever to get a decent loss to upload, but it was a pretty damn fun game. You really caught me off guard with that Shadow Sneak, I must say, but anyway, that's the game for now. Comment, rate, sub, and I'll see all you guys later.